Okay, first 7 out of 10, and I am amazed. It's probably old. It has 4 hours. Out and doing well. 2 others externally pipped. This guy's crying like he wanted to come out. He only had the 1 hole pipped, but when they start screaming, I have to help. What I like is that I see no veining going on that inner membrane at all. See, that's the outer membrane. That's the outer membrane right there. That's the inner membrane. I'm going to see if I can get a picture of that. So to see which end of the camera was that. But let's see if I can explain this as I go. Over here I have my spray bottle. I just use that to gently spritz whatever area I want to work with, because it makes those areas that can be somewhat translucent transparent. So you get to see what's going on as far as any of the veining going on. And right over here along that line, you see a little blood being pulled back. And along here, I see some too. But you know what, then I look in the egg here and see the ones that have hatched on their own fine. And I see that you can still see veining and blood going on in the inside of their shells as well. So try not to panic too much, but just really want to make yourself aware of what's going on. That being said, I still killed them. But I don't know, if someone can pick up anything to help them hatch a couple of these guys, that's why I'm doing this. And for my own records in the future. Right over here though, I can see that little vein, artery, capillary, whatever you want to call it. Capillary is probably the best one to call it. Just still a little bit too, I don't know if it's really catching it. I'm sorry, I keep probably putting it under so I can see it, but I can't explain it. Right over here, it's just like a little bit still too red. And you get the silver nitrate stick. I think it's silver nitrate. It might be nitrite, but they're from the vet. They use them to cauterize when they clip the dogs. And I just run it along. That membrane's thin enough where it just pulls it right in, but it will stop any bleeding that might have happened. And the capillaries are thin like that anyway. And the inner membrane is moist. You can putz around a little bit. No doubt in my mind that this guy's going to hatch fine, but in the meantime, I just want to leave him be with that membrane, and I'm sure within an hour, I have a little other stuff I have to do outside right now, but by the time I come back, which will be an hour or so, maybe even a little more, I'll probably check on him once, but I won't video it. He should end up being fine. Right, baby? Hello. Hello, I can't hear you. What are you saying? Say hello. Say happy birthday to me. You going to sing for us? You're not singing. You're not singing. I can't hear you. Was that you? Was that you? That's you. That's you. Okay. You're going to be fine, baby. They're used to being loud. Outside, I pull up with the car, the radio blasting, and they all come running. But they're good with noise. As long as they're used to it. But, all right. I was once again looking for myself and not for the camera. I'm bad like that. I'm going to probably do the same thing right now with the other two just to see where they're at. But I'm going to leave the camera on. My back's spasming, so if you hear me go, ugh, that's what it is. Okay. Oh boy. What do we got here? I'm going to do just a quick shot over here of what's going on in the incubator. Right over there we've got 7 of the little guys and 2 more eggs. But I'm not going to want these guys to roll this one. So while I have the other incubators, they're all clean, and I like to keep them that way. It's if I can. Pull these 2 out for now. I know, babies. I know. Where are things going? You were keeping them nice and comfortable and warm. I know. You all so good. You all so good. You all going to be good brothers and sisters. But, okay. Time to cover it again. Time to cover it up. What's your fudge? What's your fudge? There you go. There you go. And, yeah, I'll show that after. Once again, camera is on that side. Okay. Alright. Just need a quick relight over here with the smoke. But let me see. What do I hear? I just picked up one of these eggs over here. I just pulled 1, 2 are the 2 eggs that are left. We have 1 in limbo inside right now in the incubator, which is hatching fine. We'll be fine. excuse me. All of these other shells are just from the other ones as they've hatched. Going to be going into the garbage when I'm done. But this one over here, you can see has a nice, that's how they start to externally pip. Actually, I should do it with the camera, not with the light. Right over here, how you can see I've written top. It's pretty much right between the O and the P, where he's starting to push out a little bit. And you probably can't hear, but I'm going to hold him up to my ear first to see what I hear. If I do the light first, it may spook him a little bit and quiet him up so I don't get a real feel for what's going on. So I'm going to hold it up to my ear. I may or may not talk while I'm doing it, but it's what I do. Hello, how are you? Okay, and on this one I am getting good vocalization. So I will try to keep this. You know, I have my screwdriver over here. You see when I hold the egg up here with the light and go like that, you can see his beak. Pretty much right where the O and P is, right where the hole is pretty much. And candle them from the side, just so you can see how much of the egg that they're actually filling up. It's, oh, he's pushing good. I'm going to have to screw with him just because I do. But he needs a little assistance, I think. He's trying hard. Let's see what we get here. What you doing there, baby, huh? You can see him trying to work towards the fat end of the egg. So when I go in with this little screwdriver here, I'm not really poking him. I'm not going straight down. I'm trying to keep it as angled as I can. I don't know if you really get a feel for that, but I'm trying to keep it as flush with the inside of the egg. And then I just kind of lift up and break off little pieces as I go. If I'm really confident, I go and I pull off big pieces. But I'm not there yet. But from what I'm seeing now, I would say he's just as far along as the other guy was, but just having trouble rotating for one reason or another. But once I start doing that and I get a more comfortable feel, and it's not the way I recommend anybody do it starting out with your fingers. And in a way, it's good because you have a true feel for what's going on with tension. But hello, how's little one doing, huh? I know you're doing good. And even though that other egg is out this whole time, I'm not worried about that. As peacock eggs are hatching, if you keep an eye on the mother, when they're sitting on them, they tend to stand up quite a bit. It's almost like they're allowing air to get in. I don't know if they're letting them cool down a little bit, or if they're trying to cool themselves. But they'll squat over the eggs this is while they're hatching, I'm talking. They're also probably curious to see what's going on. But peahens are, my experience, they are absolutely wonderful mothers. But what does become difficult is if you have more than one peahen in the coop, they will sit next to each other on the eggs, and then they just back and forth all day. When one gets up to take a piss, the other one goes and scoffs her eggs. And it's kind of just a game they play back and forth, but occasionally I think eggs get rolled too much. Just from what I've seen and candling I've done. These are my experiences only that I'm talking about. I cannot speak for everybody by any means. But this one over here, he needs more time. I am not screwing with that inner membrane at all. I can just still see so much more, well, not a lot more red, but there's more active capillary action than there was with the other one. Well, I'm tempted to go right over here and pull that back a little bit because that area really seems to be free of capillaries. I'm leaving it alone for now because by the time I come back, if I was going to be gone for hours, I would pull that back over the shell just so it doesn't shrink wrap them, but I know I'm going to be back checking on them prior to anything like that happening. But it's the capillaries right over here that, I keep doing that with the camera, I'm sorry. I'm looking so I can see, but I'm not explaining it really very well. I'm just trying to, let's see if we go like this, how can I explain that? Capillaries would be to the right of his beak. On the left side, it's clear. And I do that, just I use bottled water and a spritzer. It's going to point the light at it so I can see it, but I'm not showing you. That's my spritzer. It's what I use every time I turn the eggs. I mist them first, and then I roll them, and then spritz them when I'm done. But, all right, I'm going to put him back and then work on his buddy. Good job, babies. I know, what we doing? I know. I drive you all crazy. I drive you so crazy, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What's your face? What's your face? I can't squish your face in it. I squish your face, and it's not a good thing. Uh-huh. What we got there? You all clear. Okay. Good deal. All right. Wait, where's my smoke? Here's my smoke. All this is I'm dealing with fleas in this room, which sucks. What's nice about it, I may have taken care of them because I'm not feeling anybody bite my ankles while I'm doing this. But this guy right here, I don't know if you can see that by the bottom of the yellow with the light. I don't know if the camera's going to catch it or not. You see a little bit of activity going on? He's already pecked this hole over here at the top of the O, once again between the O and the P. I always write top on them once I'm done rolling them. But I'm going to hold them up to my end. Once again, you can see it's the widest part of the airspace at the top and the widest part with the contents, the meat, whatever you want to call it, with the bird on the bottom. But it's on the bottom where they start to push out. So in my opinion, once they do start to push, that's the side that you want to keep rotated like that, relatively speaking. Where I just wrote top, well not where just, but where I've written top, that's what you want to keep on top. And as you can see, every time I lift that up, they are rolling eggs around. So anytime I do go and check, even if I'm not doing anything, I just like to upright everybody. So top is top. If I could see what's going on and I know that's not where the baby is, I'll rotate the egg from that point so I know top isn't top anymore, but blah, blah, blah. Let's see what we got with this one. Hello, little one. You tired of listening to me? Huh? I think I just bored him to death. Let me see what we got here. Alright. Alright, dude. Alright. You broke the shell, but you didn't break the membrane. But I hear you pecking away in there. So, I don't know if you're stuck in one spot. And you know, even though all of my birds get the same treatment, and when I incubate them, they all get the same treatment, there are variances in thickness of the eggshells. My birds have constant access to oyster shell. Don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. What I'm seeing with this hatch right now, being that I'm at the numbers that I'm at, I would say everything is really right freaking spot on. This one here, I'm screwing with a little too much. There's a little too much red right there. You can see the right when I moisten them. Oh, you hear? It's a little bit. Well, the water's not cold. It's room temperature. Room temperature right now being about 90 degrees. He needs more time. It's this whole vein or capillary right there, and that does make me a little bit nervous. So what I'm going to do, I'm leaving the rest of the shell intact. I probably should have done from the beginning, but I'm getting antsier as everybody's getting closer. I'm just taking the silver nitrate stick and rolling it along the capillary. I know, baby, I know. I made sure it wasn't by your eye. Because I know when it's by your eye, that can burn. Wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want that stick in my eye. Nope. But you can see right here, his beak is right here. He's through the inner membrane so he can breathe. Oh, his beak is right over there so he can breathe. I know he's out. He didn't hit a capillary by the beak, which is nice. It sucks when that happens. And I always tend to think it's incubating issues when I run into problems. Because if I run into one problem with a clutch, it tends to be the same problem I run into. If everything ends up being clean, you know, I mean, I'm talking eggs from the same parents, same day, but whatever, you know what I mean. Same flock. It's just, you really have to putz around and learn your incubators. Unfortunately, the curve sucks getting there, and it can be expensive too. Right now in my life, if I would have started with it, I would not be spending the money I once did on these eggs. Not that they're not worth it, because they are. But what I always liked about eggs was you're bringing eggs in and not birds, so you're not worrying about bringing disease in. That, and I absolutely love hatching something. Until this back issue's resolved, I'm holding off on emus. And yes, emu, not emo. Whether I'm right or wrong, I don't know. I'm not changing. But I like emu. Alright, happy that. Oh my god, 15 minutes. I'm sorry.